channel, everyone, where the chaos never stops. As you might saw, I went ahead and cut some parts. And what we're going to be doing today is finally giving this cart a makeover. This cart was my first attempt to do some aluminum welding, and as you can see, it has definitely seen some better days. Had some really hard times here. Welds like this broke. But some things like that turned out pretty good. So I think it's time for me to retire this cart, as cheap as it might have been for me to build, and time to build something more lasting, hopefully. And I finally have real TIG rod holders for all the rods I have laying around, and possibly finally replacing my Home Depot special PVC pipe. So let's get to it. All right, I think I have everything I need to get started welding. The only thing I haven't made my mind up on is what to use as a handle and how to make it. I kind of want a bent handle, but I don't have any tube bending dies small enough for these 3/4 inch tube. I do have a Harbor Freight pipe bender, so I might end up using this instead, but I guess we will see. I also have somewhere turn pins for the casters in the back with a groove for the snap rings I'm going to use, so we can get all this set up here. So next will just be a quick welding montage. So I've made a pretty big mistake by trying to take some dimensions off the internet instead of coming to the shop and measuring it. And so the mistake I had made was this bottle mount that I made doesn't mate properly to the bottle, nor does the bottle sit perfectly flat and within the constraints of the base. So I had found a measurement online saying this 150 size bottle is 7 inches in diameter, but in actuality, for the bottle I have, it is 7.5 inches. So I will have to be cutting that tray out, making a new tray for the cart, making a new one of these, and hopefully it'll fit better this time now that I have the proper dimensions. Alright, I have this new gas tank tray all bent up and dimpled out. I realized, I had decided to dimple it this way on the bottom, so maybe things I could just brush in, it'll fall out or whatever, but I do realize it's made it a little difficult for me to weld up. So I will put this on a riser along with the frame. I already cut off the old tank that I messed up on. And where did it go? And I have already bent up the bracket, but we can tell now that it actually fits properly. And I have taken some time to do a better job at prepping this for all TIG welding, so I'm gonna clean up this workstation and get TIGging.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, right now. Think about it till you black out. So get the fuck up. So cover and duck, you're out of luck, we don't give up. Yeah, we're going up, next floor is us, you're riding with us. We want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, right now. Think about it till you black out. So get the fuck up.
Alright, I think this is pretty much all welded up. As for my second Shopee or welding cart, this is hopefully a lot better, but there's still a lot of room for improvement, I feel like, as any welding project goes. I feel like I've learned a lot just by putting this together. I feel like a fixture table would help me a lot in this setup, since everything seems to move. I know for sure everything moves, but I never seem to learn from it. Blew a lot of holes, cleaned up all the edges from the plasma cutting would help a lot, as I've learned. And apparently these caster offsets are not as I designed or accounted for, since it does seem to rake backwards a little bit. But first, It needs a paint job, and fortunately I have a shop neighbor that does powder coating, so give me a quick second to get this powder coated. And my welding cart is back from powder coat. It looks fantastic in this neon orange, highlighter orange color, whatever you want to call it. I just told my powder coat guy next door to just throw it in the oven with whatever he was making, and he was shooting some wheels this color, I think. And this is what I get for free. It's not too bad, I guess, right? Should go well with the Miller Blue. So let's throw everything on and see how it looks. All right, and here it is, everything loaded for the most part, I think. I think part of my problem with this other cart was I tried to shove everything on here. So I think I'm gonna try and have some of the consumable stuff, like the extra wires and all the TIG accessories and everything, and all the stick rods, have them stored somewhere else, and we'll try that out, because I realistically don't need to have everything on this cart, even though I technically made more space to put all the TIG rods, mostly because I think they take up the most space to try to store it, but we'll see. I think overall this turned out fine. I did have some fixturing problems since I was in a haste and didn't bother clamping and tacking everything up. Like this side, this was a big gap because when I tacked everything up, I welded the other side first. And you can see this side is super tight. Okay, maybe not as tight, but the other side was even bigger because this piece pulled in and the other side pulled out. I could have done a lot better on the fixturing because I think some of this stuff didn't come out as square as it should. Like some of these holes on the bottom don't line up perfectly. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that these bends didn't come out perfectly straight. But overall, I think this will be a much more functional cart. So yeah, we'll see how long this will last me before I try to change it up again. Because as I was assembling this seems to have been an afterthought, and clearly was. I didn't think that this handrail would get in the way of the ground clamp plug, but it is how it is when you just make things on the fly, I guess. But stay tuned for what I plan on building next. Thinking it's time to build myself an actual fixture table, and maybe this plasma cutter will be able to do it, but stay tuned and find out, I guess. See you around.